Oh, hello, Venus.
Hello, Caesar. Why have you come to the goddess of fertility?
Oh, I was hoping that if I gave you my pearl necklace, you would let me borrow your clam.
Sure, Caesar. Come on in.
Hello and welcome to Caesar's Snack Sandwich. Today we're on Binance Smart Chain taking a look at the Venus protocol. Now I'm going to foreshadow this one with a little bit of a warning. This could be a pretty risky thing to do, what I'm going to show you. So if you're going to do this, please be careful and make sure you have time to monitor this closely. So let's swing over to Venus protocol, and here we are on Venus protocol. I've prepared my one of my wallets here already, and you can see some of the things that I've done here. Now, what is Venus protocol? Venus protocol is a lending platform where you can supply tokens, you can borrow tokens, and then you can also mint some tokens. So it's kind of like, if you're thinking on Ethereum, it's kind of like Aave and Compound and Cream, but also it has like a MakerDAO type system as well, with the Vi token. Now, I did talk about this in another video before, but I thought I would show you a few tips and really just focus on this one in this video alone. So looking at this, we have the dashboard over here, and that basically shows you the landing page here. And we have vote, market, and volt. So let's start with the dashboard and go down through the different windows here. So here we have my current XVS token balance, which is 0. That means tokens in my wallet. I have 0 of these tokens in my wallet. Now there's probably no reason why I would want to keep these tokens in my wallet, and I have them here supplied already. So, you know, I harvest them every once in a while and put them in here as a supplied collateral. So down here is Vi tokens. So these are like pegged to the US dollar. And this APY here is basically, if you take the Vi tokens and you stick it in here, you will gain this APY in XVS tokens, okay? So over here we have my current, status of like, how much I've supplied and how much I've borrowed. And here we have a little bar of, how much percentage of my available have I used. Now you'll notice that I've supplied this much, and I'm currently using 62%, and I have a total amount I could borrow is about 3,000. So it's quite a bit less. So it's usually about 60 to 75%, depending on which tokens you supply and so forth. So here we have a little, like a pull down window for each of the assets that you could supply. So you could go here and let's say BTC, and you could see some stats on it, like how much liquidity there is, how many people are borrowing it, and all kinds of stuff like that. And the key thing here you want to know is 60%. So this is like, if you supply BTC, you can borrow 60% of it here on the protocol. Now that's pretty good. It's actually for safety. You don't want to borrow 100%, 90%, 80%. You want to be safe, right? So don't borrow too much. Now, when this goes up to the top here, then you'll start getting liquidated. So I usually try to keep this number around 60 or 70, and I'll show you a tip at the end of this video of how I play with this number on a daily basis, okay, to try to maximize my gains. So over here you have a supply market, so you could come here and let's say you had some USDC and you wanted to supply it. You would just click here and you go to supply, and you first have to enable it. So you pay a transaction to enable it, and then you would tell it how much you want to supply and supply it. And it would look something like this, okay? So you put 5 or whatever and click supply, and it would go in. And now this website's a little bit slow. Sometimes the transaction clears and it takes a bit of time to refresh. So I tend to press F5 quite often to refresh the whole thing. So keep that in mind. Now, if after you've supplied some assets and you've got some number here and some number here, so remember this is less than this, then you can go over to borrow and borrow some of the assets. Now you'll notice that these numbers are all green. So this is like how much they're going to pay you, APY on your XVS or your BTC tokens, how much they're going to pay you. And if you come over to borrow, they're also green tokens. So these are also positive. Now, why are they positive? Why would they pay you to borrow? That's because they're paying you in XVS. If you switch this off, then you get red numbers. So you actually see the actual borrow rate. So if I wanted to borrow USDC, which I have here, I'm paying 10% to borrow BTC APY. And then the supply is the same. You see the supply still stays green, right? Of course. But it's when you jack up this up, that goes quite a bit higher. So in an end, I borrow and I supply. So I've supplied, this much, and I borrowed this much currently, and I'm netting 7%. So I'm actually getting paid money to borrow these tokens. Now, it is dependent on this XVS price. This XVS price might go down, might go up, but they seem to be doing pretty good at keeping it up and propping it. So keep that in mind. Now, so this is basically what you would want to do, right? So you'd find some sort of farm out and about, maybe on Beefy or something, and you want to take part in that. Then you could supply some token here and borrow some other token. So for example, one of the things I like to do is I like to borrow my BNB here at actually it's borrowed at 6%. And then I use this to build LP tokens for Beefy Finance. Okay. So this is one of the things I like to do. There are many, many strategies, and you could find your own strategy. Maybe you don't want to do this. Maybe you just want to borrow like some straight token, like, I want to borrow, I don't know, maybe Link, right? Borrow some Link get 12%, APY on borrowing Link, and stick it in the Link vault at Beefy Finance or some other place, right? So it's up to you, right? So this is just a place where you can, kind of leverage in. Now, like I said, I'm going to warn you again, keep this under eye. If you can't watch this every day, you can't check this every day, then you probably shouldn't be playing with this, okay? Now, the next thing you can do, this is what I like to do every morning. I'm going to do it now, even though it's night, is I come over here. I see I have 62%, right? And I think, I'm pretty safe for the day. I can watch this. I can check in every hour or so. So now I'll come here and where I can mint. This is the mint. This is the repay. And I'll mint maybe, let's just do 100 because it is late at night and I'm going to repay it. So I mint 100, press OK. Up pops the MetaMask. I confirm. Here's my transaction confirmed. Now, like I said, it takes a few seconds. You see the balance is a little bit slow, right? So let's do a refresh. So it's all refreshed, right? So now I have some VI inside my wallet. As you can see right here, there's 100 VI and sitting in my wallet. And I'll take it to the vault and I will deposit it into the vault. So 100. Stake that VI. So transaction confirmed, VI is staked, and I'm slowly gaining some XVS. Now every time you interact with this vault, you either pull VI out, put VI in, or every time if you want, you can just claim your XVS. It basically pulls all your XVS out of here that you've earned by everything on the protocol and puts it into your wallet. So this is a good way, now I can, let's go back to the dashboard. And now you can see my number has changed a little bit. It's, 65 now. And, I still feel pretty safe with 65, so I'll probably leave that 100 in there. It's, it's only $100. So, you can jack this up to maybe 80 or maybe 95. Depends on how risk averse you are and how much you can watch it. But you can jack this up by doing that. And you don't have to, go and build LPs. You don't have to borrow certain tokens. And the actual, interest to borrow this, to mint this token is nothing. It's not going to charge you anything to mint this token because the token doesn't do anything except go staking into this vault. So just a way for you to lock up some of this value into the protocol. Now the protocol currently does have almost 400 million locked inside. So I feel pretty safe using it in that sense. However, the actual support here is they only have a Telegram channel, and if you say certain things in there, like I tagged admin and I got banned and I cannot get back inside. They won't let me back inside. They only have a white paper and they don't have a Medium articles. So it comes across as a little bit shady, but when we go into the white paper here and we, you can read through this and get a better understanding, but I think, you have a good idea what's going on already. You come down, and you'll see number 6 does say Binance acquires Swipe, and they link to this article. So I've heard rumors that this protocol is run by the Swipe team. So I feel pretty safe. It's backed by Binance in the sense if you're using the Binance Smart Chain, then you're probably bullish on Binance to some extent, or at least you trust them to some extent. That's why you're on the Binance Smart Chain. So I feel Venus is a pretty safe one to use in that sense. If you believe in Binance in that sense, then I think you should feel safe enough in here. Now, a little while ago, they did have a token in the supply here. It was down at the bottom. It was CAN, and there was some sort of exploit where, you know, there wasn't a lot of liquidity and the person was able to jack up the price and then come here and borrow a bunch of ETH and BTC. And they quickly rectified that. You know, within 1 day, the CAN was gone. There was no more ability to use CAN, and they were able to wipe it off. So there are 2 tabs over here. Is a vote, and this is basically just allow you to, you know, you can collect your Venus as well here, and you can vote on protocol improvement things, right? There's not a whole lot going on in here, but people are creating proposals, and I think you need 30,000 Venus. Let's go here and see what it says. Oh yeah, you need 30,000 Venus tokens in order to create a proposal, and a proposal is generally like, oh, let's add this token to the supply borrow side, you know, that kind of thing, right? So that pretty much covers it. I like to use this for, like I said, for leveraging into positions in other protocols, and you can also get some pretty good gains. You're pretty safe with your you know, the tokens you're bullish on, supplying those as liquidity, and, you know, borrowing tokens that you feel that, you know, you're safe borrowing. Now, the reason why I really like this is because, like you saw me, I used several transactions. It was quick. I didn't even bother to look at gas. I just did it and I was done. So this is why I think it's very good, especially for like non-whales, people who don't have a lot of money to pay for the ETH gas on Aave and Compound and so forth. They can come here and learn the system, learn the DeFi system here, learn how this borrowing and CDPs work. But I would be careful, okay? One more time, watch this ratio. If you go above, if it goes right up to the top, you will start getting liquidated by the bots. Okay, so that's it. Hope this is useful, and thanks for watching. Goodbye. Hello, thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like to support the channel, there are a few ways you can help me out a lot. Number one is I have a Gitcoin grant. This is a pretty unique way to help out. Basically, the way this system works is if you supply me with any kind of donation, then the protocol itself will also match your donation with like an increasing amount the more and the more the people donate to me. So for example, if you were to give me 1 DAI, the protocol will give me 4 DAI, which is great, you know, so your 1 DAI can go a long way. So please feel free to come here and check this out. You know, link to this will be in the description. Another way you could support me is by going to YGift, link in the description. And here, where this says collect for me, it would say tip. You tip this, and you could give me some YUSD if you want. And that would definitely help me out quite a bit. Another way you could support me is you could check out my Rarible store and purchase an NFT. Now, the best kind of support is just you watching my videos and liking them and subscribing. So if you did that, thanks so much for doing that, and goodbye.